Welcome to LatinPerDiem. Today we look again at Caesar's de Bello Gallico, the war in Gaul. Last time we examined the first sentence. This time we'll look at this sentence. He, omnes lingua institutis, legibus inter se deferunt. It's a short sentence, but an important and interesting one. We see first of all that the subject is placed at the beginning. He. This is common in Latin, inasmuch as the standard Latin word order is subject, object, verb. This is different than English, which of course favors subject, verb, object. Greek, on the other hand, can use either, and doesn't really have a clear preference. The subject then is he, which is modified by omnes, all these, and Caesar is here referring back to the three groups of people, the Belgians, the Aquitani, and of course those who call themselves Celts, but in our language are called Gauls. These three people groups inter se deferunt. This is probably the most common way in Latin to express a difference between two things. To use the verb deferre and to use the preposition inter and then some object of that preposition, always in the accusative. Se here is a reflexive, and it is of course masculine, plural, and accusative. It refers back to all these. And Caesar says that they differ in three respects. They differ lingua, institutis, legibus. Each one of these is in the ablative case. And we might call these ablatives of means, or possibly ablatives of description. I think the former is the more likely use. So how do these groups differ among themselves? In three respects: in language, in customs, and in laws. Now an interesting question would be, how do institutis differ from legibus? Any standard lexicon will help you tease out some of those distinctions. Let's look at the final sentence. Here Caesar has Gallos ab Aquitanis Garumna flumen, ab Belgis matrona et sequana devidit. Now the subject here, of course, is Garumna flumen, the Garonne River, and in the second clause, the subject is Matrona, the Marne River. As the Garonne River divides the Gauls from the Aquitani, ab here is used with an ablative of separation, so the Marne and the Seine divide the Gauls from the Belgians, another ablative of separation. So this last sentence is a little more complicated than it at first appears. And a good practice would be to reword the sentence in a more familiar English word order, and this process is often called an annotatio. Please join us next time.